Krishna, dear devotees. Today we're reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Lila, fourth chapter, the inner reason of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, which is so important to understand. Gaurangera Duti Pada, Jaradana Sampada, Se Jane Bhakati Rasasar. He who makes the two lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu his treasure, this person has understood the essence of rasa. It's a very beautiful verse. We have so many beautiful verses about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that the Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami wrote in this masterpiece of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Jai. Namaste Sarasvati Devi Gauravani Prachayane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine. So Prabhupada came to place in our heart the two lotus feet of Sri Gauranga. That was his mission, because the two lotus feet of Gaura are the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna combined, you know. Radha's foot sole, they have some designs, beautiful signs are there. A chariot, a hearing, a fish, and Krishna's foot sole also have some beautiful signs. A triangle, a moon, a svastika, some vajra, which means thunderbolt. And the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they have both signs of Radha and Krishna, because they are both present in him. It's a combined form. Like if you could make one enter into the other one. There is a modern sculptor who made two sculptures of a man and a woman, and they are like not full. You know, they are like lines of iron, and you see it's not a full volume. It's lines of iron with some gap between each lines, you know. But because there are many lines, still you can see the general shape. But his sculpture is that when you can activate a mechanism, and then the two sculptors, they do like this, and then they enter into each other. And you see the man and the woman, they merge, the two forms, they merge. And then, because the line, you know, the gap in this sculpture corresponds to the iron in the other one. So everything merged together. And it's beautiful because it's exactly like, it makes us think about Radha and Krishna. Because their form is transcendental, Radha and Krishna, sometimes they can just merge together and become one. This is a very great mystery. And this is a very particular also ecstasy for Radha and Krishna. And this is a particular experience of prema. This happened on a particular level of prema. This merging of Radha and Krishna. Because they are one soul. But this soul exists also separated in two bodies. And sometimes this soul decides to merge again, and then they become Gauranga. This is the greatest mystery, you know. Who can really understand how Radha and Krishna are the same soul, though they're playing two roles differently. And though both of them are not really aware. Sometimes they are aware that they are the same soul, but they are not aware that they are the same soul on the level of tattva. How to say? They don't consider, oh, finally you are me and I am you. They consider we are the same soul on the level of rasa, like we would call in our world in comparison kindred spirit.
Or soulmates.
Soulmates. But they are really one soul. So it's very beautiful to try to understand this mystery. Because if we want to understand Radha and Krishna, we need to understand Gaura. Because he's Radha and Krishna combined. We cannot understand the one without understanding the other. Full realization of Radha and Krishna necessitates full realization of Gaura. And full realization of Gaura necessitates full realization of Radha and Krishna. If we want the ultimate level of realization of Radha and Krishna, that means their oneness into the highest level of prema, Madhanaksha Mahabhav. If we want to understand this, then we need also full understanding of Gaura and how this Gaura Tattva, Gaura Radha Krishna Tattva goes. At the same time, it's not possible to understand it, but at the same time, not trying to understand it means losing the greatest fortune that we can obtain, because it is possible to understand it by their grace. Everything is possible. We can understand just a drop of it, or we can also understand everything, if they want us to understand everything. It's depending upon them. But Radha and Krishna, they are very generous, and they also have their intimate one who have complete access to their heart. And it's not that it's not possible for us to obtain such complete access to their heart. It's possible also for the one of us who desire it. Most of devotees, they don't desire this because they're not even aware that this exists. But some devotees, fortunate soul, they may desire it. And if they desire it sincerely enough to desire it more than everything else, then it's just a question of time. Then it's just a question of the recipe to cook, let's say. You know, when you have all the ingredients and everything is done perfectly, it's just about now waiting. So it's such a beautiful reality that Radha and Krishna, they are one soul. As Radharani said to Krishna in Prema Samput, some people say, does she say this? Yeah, she said, but actually me and Krishna, we are one same soul, like one stem of a lotus coming from the same bulb gives, manifest two lotus flowers, one blue and one yellow, but they are the same plant. We know in a plant the soul is in the root. So a branch of a tree and another branch of a tree, we understand this is the same tree. There is one soul in the tree. So in the same way, Radha and Krishna, they are one soul like this, but they manifest two aspects. And the more we meditate upon this, the more we will realize Radha and Krishna. And then the more we understand their pastimes, actually, when they play different roles, But when they do this all play, Astakaliya Lila, or even the pastime that they manifest in this world, when they do this all play, they're one soul. And if we keep this in mind, then we understand this is not ordinary dealings between boys and girls. This is one soul divided in two bodies, manifesting an amazing reality. That this soul becomes, this soul becomes two separated identities in one way, who both believe that they are separated from each other. Because they have two forms, then they think also we are separated from each other. Whereas separation cannot really exist between Radha and Krishna because they are one soul. Still, separation is there. They do believe that they are separated. And because they do believe that they are separated, then they become separated. Because the belief of separation is not different from separation. So they experience separation. They think we are separated, and all this Radha Krishna Lila manifest. And sometime again they merge together and they become one soul. In Radha and Krishna's pastime, sometimes it happens also. They merge together. It's not so much described by our acharyas, but they mention it. And probably because it's very secret. And what is even more amazing is that when Radha and Krishna becomes Gauranga, then in this aspect they're again thrown into an ocean of unthinkable feelings. Sometimes Radha only feeling separation from Krishna, sometimes Krishna feeling separation from Radha. It's one person with everything inside, union and separation. Mahaprabhu sometimes, he's like floating, Guru Govinda Maharaj would say, on the ocean of separation from Krishna. This is one main aspect of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is explained by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. This is Radha Bhava Duty Suvalaitam Nami Krishna Swarupam. This is Krishna, having taken the heart, the bhava, and the complexion of Sri Radha in order to experience. But when Krishna becomes Gaura and then he is experiencing Radha Bhav and is adorned with the complexion of Radha, then is this Krishna or is this Radha? Who can say?
Yes.
Because in order to get that experience, he has to stop being Krishna and now becoming fully Radha. But at the same time, if he does this, then how Krishna will experience the love of Radha? So he still remains also Krishna at the same time. That's why Ramananda Roy quotes Radharani in his special song saying, Nasa Rama Nahama Ramani. It is not that Krishna is the beloved and I am his beloved. Duhun Mano Manubhava Peshala Jani. Because we are no more separate. Our two minds have merged together. This is very beautiful thing. If you don't know what to think when you're chanting Hare Krishna, then think about this and your life will be transformed. Sometimes devotees say, I have so many difficulties to concentrate when I chant Hare Krishna. My mind thinks about this and this and that. Stop thinking about this. Think about this. How Radha and Krishna, they are one soul. Take this verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila and read them and then chant and try to chant and to think about that beautiful reality. And the holy name will bring you another beautiful experience, because that's how the holy name works. It needs some rasa to be infused. When you infuse meditation with some beautiful rasa in the chanting of the holy name, then the chanting of the holy name becomes very beautiful. And it's easier to concentrate, because without this, who can control the mind? Arjuna said. It's harder than to control the wind. Even if Arjuna can't control the mind, what chance do I have to control the mind? I am a Kali Yuga creature. He is an eternal associate of Krishna, and he's so skilled that alone he can fight an entire army. Alone I cannot fight even one man. There is one category of soldier which is like this, described in the Shastra. Vishwanath Chakravarti says, some soldier they can fight one entire army, some they can fight 10,000 soldiers alone, some they can fight 1,000 soldiers alone, some they can fight 100, some they can fight just only 10, and some they can fight only one person alone, and some they cannot even fight one person. That's me. I can't fight even one person. But I know, by the mercy of Radha and Krishna, that if when I chant Hare Krishna with this crazy mind who want to think, because the nature of the mind is that he always wants to think about something, and he likes to jump from here and this, here and there, and think about so many things. So if you follow this, if you follow him when you're chanting, actually you're not chanting. You're following your mind, and he's fooling you. It's fooling you that you think you're chanting, but you're not chanting. You're just dancing in the performance of your mind. Like your mind is on a stage and making this beautiful performance, and you're just looking. But if you replace this by this beautiful verse and think about Gaura as being Radha and Krishna combined and chant, then it will be much easier to concentrate. And that beautiful reality will start slowly to unfold in your heart. It works. Otherwise, our Acharya, they will be liars, but they are not liars. They tell us because it works. So that's the beauty of Gaura. He's the revelation of Radha and Krishna's heart. And so Krishna was saying, or Krishnadas Kaviraj was saying that, so Krishna appeared in order to manifest this wonderful pastime with his associate that will amaze himself, and to show to the world what is this path of Vraja Prem. That's why Krishna appeared. And then the fact that Krishna killed the demons, that was secondary or incidental. Prabhupada used this word here, incidental, which means of second importance.
It means it was done automatically by doing the first thing. Yeah.
That's the idea. And Kaviraj Goswami says, the same way for Sri Krishna Chaitanya, promulgating the Dharma of the age, the Yuga Dharma, is incidental. It's like Krishna killing the demons. It's not his real mission, but he does it by the way, by performing his. It happened. Thus, with these two intentions, the Lord appeared with his devotees and tasted the nectar of prema with the congregational chanting of the holy name. He put these two things together and said, okay, let's propagate the Yuga Dharma and also propagate this Vraja Prem together. So we will put it together. We will propagate Vraja Prem through the chanting of the holy name. So we have to keep these two process together, because he gave us this process together. Thus he spread kirtan even among the untouchables. He wove a wreath of the holy name and prema, with which he garlanded the entire material world. We spoke about this last time. How the names are the flowers and prema is the thread. And if we put the flower on the thread, it makes a beautiful garland. And then Krishna garlanded that. The entire material world means everybody with this garland. That means Krishna is putting around our neck, this blessing. Here, take these names and threaded with this pure love. This is my gift to you. And in this way, he is giving Premanam Sankirtan, or we could say Vraja Premanam Sankirtan. And by chanting these names, the highest pure love of Raj will be revealed within the heart. Hemata Bhakta Bhavakari Angikar. So Krishna took the mood of a devotee himself. Apani Achari Bhakti Karila Pracha. And then he preached Gauravani. He gave that mercy and inspired people to adopt this holy name along with this understanding of Vraja Prem. Assuming the sentiment of a devotee, preached devotional service while practicing himself. Prabhupada explained, yes, when Rupa met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Prayag, Allahabad, he said, Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayati. Actually, you are the most merciful aspect of Krishna. Because that's Rupa. That's Rupa Manjari. She sees Krishna as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And she says, hey, Krishna, all glories to you. All my obeisances to you. In this form, you are the most merciful form of... It's more like she says, hey, Krishna, you have taken this very amazing form. This is the most merciful form of you I have ever seen. Because she knows Krishna. You know, Rupa Manjari, every day she's interacting so much with Krishna. So now she's meeting Krishna and glorifying him. Because you're distributing pure love for yourself in this form. So she's surprised. Oh, how beautiful this is. How beautiful pastime are you manifesting. Yes, and Prabhupada said his mission was to enhance love of God. Because he distributes love of Krishna. Anyone who accepts God as the Supreme can take the process of chanting Hare Krishna and become a lover of God. So Prabhupada explained that in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explained that we have to surrender to him. And now he came in order to show how this surrender is done, how we can surrender to Krishna. He is teaching himself, Krishna teaching himself. That's his compassion. And it's interesting that Krishna does both at the same time. He is teaching himself by experiencing it himself. He lets himself experiencing it, and that's his teaching. And okay, sometimes he explains to Rupa and Sanatan, here and there, just like a teacher. We sit together, and then I explain to you. But if we see it in another way, when Mahaprabhu and Rupa, they sit in Allahabad, and he explains to Rupa all this beautiful philosophy that we see in Chaitanya Charitamrita for, I think, 10 days in Dasashveta, something like that. Ghat. Dasashvameda Ghat, where they did this Ashvameda Yaga. Dasashvameda Ghat on the other bank of the Ganga in Allahabad, Prayag. And this is actually also Radharani saying to Rupa, okay, this is now what I want you to write in books for me, for the blessing of the conditioned soul. I want you to reveal how to attain my service, and I want you to reveal what is our secret appearance, as Radha and Krishna combined also. I want you to reveal. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam, Stapitam Yena Bhutel. So she is explaining, Radharani is explaining to Rupa exactly what I want you to write. And same thing to Sanatan in Benares, Varanasi. She is explaining to Lavanga Manjari, Sanatan is Lavanga Manjari. This is what I want you to write. And people will understand what is this prema, what is this Vraja prema, how to practice and how to attain it. And what is this special incarnation in which I am combined with Krishna. This is your mission in this world. So they wrote these books. But all the time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Radha and Krishna, they're teaching by experiencing and showing to the world what is the experience of Mahabhav by Krishna himself. Also with Ramananda Roy, as we have seen previously, Radha and Krishna, they made Vishaka speak all this beautiful philosophy. And you know, we have to become familiar with the teaching of Mahaprabhu to Rupa Goswami, teaching of Mahaprabhu to Sanatana Goswami, teaching of Mahaprabhu, of Ramananda Roy and Mahaprabhu together, which is reversed teaching of Ramananda Roy to Mahaprabhu. We need to understand these three talks very nicely, because then we understand what is our philosophy. This is not explained in the Bhagavatam. Our real philosophy, one comes to understand it by reading these three talks. Talks with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya that are less important about the personal aspect of God. They are there also. They are for us to understand Krishna, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, who is the personal aspect of God in this. But these three talks, they are most important, as well as the talks between, but then this is not in form of teaching, this is the talks between Swarup Damodar, Ramananda Roy and Mahaprabhu in the Gambhira. Fourth talks, set of talks, most important in Chaitanya Charitamrita, with which we must also become familiar. And this is more revealing than the pastimes of Raj and the particularity of Radharani's Madanaksha Mahabhav. And even the feelings of the Manjaris, because sometimes Mahaprabhu also experiences the feelings of the Manjaris. So we have to become familiar with these talks. We're planning to take them one by one and discuss them also in due course of time. And here Prabhupada explained, Swarup Damodar Goswami has described Lord Chaitanya as Krishna himself with the attitude of Radharani, or a combination of Radha and Krishna. The intention of Lord Chaitanya is to taste Krishna's sweetness in transcendental love. He does not care to think of himself as Krishna because he wants the position of Radharani. That means he has to forget thinking he is Krishna. He wants to be fully Radha. So then he becomes fully Radha. No more Krishna. That's fully Radha. But at the same time, this is Krishna who is fully Radha. Very interesting. And then Prabhupada says, we should remember this. Very important. Then he speaks about the Gauranga Nagari, which I will not go into. And then again, Prabhupada comes back and says, Lord Chaitanya is undoubtedly Krishna himself, and he is always non-different from Srimati Radharani. So he's both. So we can see him as being Krishna, experiencing the love of Radha, or as being just Radha. And Krishna disappeared because he's just becoming Radha. Or as being Radha and Krishna, combined together. Three aspects of Mahaprabhu. But the emotion technically called Viprarambha Bhav, which the Lord adopted for confidential reasons, should not be disturbed in the name of service. A mondainer should not unnecessarily intrude into affairs of transcendence and thereby displease the Lord. So there is a special way to approach that most sublime reality. We should not go like a crazy person. Like Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj would say, fool's rush where angels fear to tread. This is very important to remember if we do want to be an angel instead of a fool. Because we could turn into a fool if we don't follow that fool's rush where angels fear to tread. That means the feeling of fearing to go is an angelic feeling. It's not a bad thing. It doesn't mean they don't go. It means they go, but very cautiously. Vandamui Savadana Mate, with great
care and attention.
Yes, like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would say, Pujjala Raga Pata Gaurava Bhange. This path of Raga Anuga, Ragapat or Raga Anuga, following the attraction of the heart of the Brajabasis. We should take this path because this is our philosophy. As we have seen previously, our philosophy is not, if you remove Raganuga Bhakti, then you remove the head of our philosophy. It's the culmination of our philosophy, so it has to be there, and we have to attain this one day, otherwise that means we don't attain the full understanding and experience of our philosophy. But at the same time, we should not jump to it without proper approach. We need Gaurava Bhange. Gaurava Bhange means with great care and reverence. This is the most beautiful thing. We should not think that I'm going to grasp it within few months or within few years, and that I'm going to attain this that quickly. Otherwise, that means we have a misconception about it. It's the most beautiful thing, even for Radha and Krishna. What is my chance to attain it? Our chance to attain it is zero. We have to understand this. It's completely zero. It's completely impossible for us to attain it. But there is one chance, is that the mercy of that love, which is in the heart of Radha and Krishna, also is to reach out to others. So that's our only chance. Otherwise, by ourselves, we have no chance. But this is for someone who wants to follow this path of the love of the Rajabasi. He must very clearly understand this, that it's impossible for me to attain this, because this is the most beautiful thing, that even Krishna is mesmerized or is fascinated by the love of the gopis. How can we attain the love of the gopis, which even fascinates Krishna? It's not possible. Technically, we are Anu Chaitanya, microscopic or infinitesimal soul. But by the mercy, Radha and Radha's Prem, they want to, their nature is just to flood everything. That's our chance. But it doesn't mean that because we can't get it by that mercy, then it's cheap. It's not cheap, and it will not be easy neither with that mercy. It's not that we're going to, okay, there is the mercy of Radha and Krishna, so it's there, we can get it, and it's easy to get. No, it will be very difficult to get it. It will be just possible. The fact that this unlimited mercy is there just makes the thing possible. It doesn't make it easy. It makes it possible, which is already unbelievable, because technically, normally, it's impossible. But by their unlimited mercy, they make it possible. Still, there is a price to pay for it. And what is the price? The highest price. If you want to get the highest thing, you have to be ready to pay the highest price. But this highest price is not something that you don't have. It's something that you have, which is called sincerity. Sincere desire. Tatra lolyam apimolyam ekalam. This is something that we can get from the Vaishnavas. So from the Vaishnavas, we get the money then to buy what we want to buy. Like a kid goes and he sees his mommy or his daddy get some coin and then go to buy what he wants to buy. By himself, he doesn't have money. So we need to get from the Vaishnavas the currency in order to buy that pure love, because they have that, they have it. From the Vaishnavas we can get lolyam, sincere desire, imbued with this humility, because prema and donya, they go together and they feed each other. So that means the more we progress, the more we will think that it's impossible to attain prema, but the closer to prema we will go. But if we don't keep that second part, that we realize that we are most fallen and this is impossible to attain, then that means our spiritual progress is not true. It's what we call sahaja. Sahaja are those who think they can attain it quite easily, or think that they have attained it, while they don't. So if someone thinks like this, then he is sahaja. What real devotee means, he understands, I will have to pay the greatest price. From the heart of the Vaishnavas, I can get this currency, but still you will get it, and then you have to do, how to say, you have to pay it also. So it requires a very special sacrifice, which is beautiful sacrifice. It requires to embrace this feeling of Radha Prem, Raja Prem. That's not an easy thing to do. It's there. Rupa Manjari, Ravamaga Manjari, Kasturi Manjari, they have written this in their books. If we read their books and if we hear the Rasika Vaishnavas, explaining us all these subtleties, explaining us the heart of Radha and Krishna, then we will understand it. But then we have also to adopt that same feeling within our heart. This is what Ramananda Roy explains to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He explains that without following the gopis, which means without accepting in our heart their own mood, the way they love Radha and Krishna, it's not possible to attain Radha and Krishna. But the thing is that their love is very intense. It's super beautiful, it's the most beautiful thing, but it's not a cheap thing. It's, how to say, it is we could say unbearably beautiful. It's too much love to contain, and it's at the same time most beautifully painful, because their love includes unlimited level of separation also. So that's the price to pay. The price to pay when we say tatra lolyam apimolyam ekalam is the intense desire to get it, but the intense desire to get something which is very intense to live. Who is ready to pay that price? Who is ready to live that experience of prema, like the gopi they do? That's the price to pay. If we read, Krishna spent 10 years, technically 15 years in Vraj, then Krishna Kishore went to Mathura. And then they spent the rest of their life in separation. That's the price to pay. That's the molyam ekalam, the price. Lolyam, intense desire to obtain it. To obtain what? To embrace in our life the same suffering that they have embraced during these 100 years. That's the price to get prema. Because we'll say, oh, that's so nice. If you are a great sadhaka and you become absorbed in Krishna, in your next life you will take birth in Bhoma Vrindavan. Then you will be with Krishna, isn't it? Vijayanath Chakravarti Thakur explained this. We don't go directly to Goloka, we take birth first on the Earth planet where Krishna appears. So then you're there, and then either in the body of a Gopa or a Gopi, then you meet the eternally perfect Nitya Siddha, and they train you up to the level of prema. Then in their association, you develop a similar love that they carry in their heart, and you become like them. But then Krishna leaves, and you'll be there for 100 there with them, for 100 years with them. That suffering they're going through for 100 years of separation from Krishna, if you take birth in Bhoma Vrindavan, you have to go through that. That's the price to pay. It's not an easy price, but that's the price of love. That's the price that Radharani pays every day. That's the price that Lalita and Vishaka pays every day. That's the price that Rupa Manjari pays every day. Because when Krishna went to Mathura, it's not only Radharani who was crying. They were all crying, including the Manjaris also. Even the trees, they were crying. They were not only crying, they were dying. Everything stopped in Vraj. So that's the price we call Lolyam. Lolyam is not just, oh, I want to get same ecstatic experience like the gopis and the Manjari they have. To be with Radha and Krishna and serve them like this. It's not only that, it's also the acceptance that, okay, I will also have to embrace in my heart the same suffering that they are going through. Which, of course, we understand is also the topmost bliss. But that's the price of intensity to adopt in our life. But it's not torture. it's not suffering. It's the most beautiful reality, because even separation from Krishna is unlimited bliss. Still, it is a mood, particular mood, that's what I'm meaning. And this mood is not easy for a conditioned soul to embrace, because it's very intense. That's why the people, they fear. Sometimes devotees even fear, what will happen if I surrender to Krishna? That's very beginning fear. But that's what will happen. Krishna will make you go through separation. If you give up everything and then you run in the middle of the night to reach Krishna on the bank of the Yamuna, which is full surrender to Krishna, highest forms, what will happen? Then Krishna will tell you, okay, I think you made a mistake, you should go back to your house. And then with a long talk, you'll be able to convince him, maybe, I would say probably by the long talk of those who are with you, more than by your own words. That's the mercy of being accompanied by the eternal associate of Krishna. They know how to speak to him and to solve the thing. But then Krishna will disappear. And that's the night of Rasa dance. They were devastated, when Krishna disappeared. Why? It doesn't seem a big thing. You think, they went in the forest, Krishna started to dance with them, then he goes for a while. Why are they becoming crazy like that just because Krishna left? It doesn't make really sense. Why? It's a little bit exaggerated, we would say, how they can become so... Because they have given everything to Krishna in the topmost love, purest love, with the unlimited, unlimited, I don't know even, words cannot really describe. They have given their life to Krishna. They come and they place their life at the feet of Krishna when they arrived in Vaishnavat, Krishna had taken their heart were no more in their chest. That's what they were feeling. He had robbed their life. So they came here like someone who's been robbed his life, and he is the thief in front of them. He has all their heart in his heart probably, or in his fruit, in his feast somewhere. He hid all their heart. And they were here in front of him without their heart anymore. But no matter what, they had given him their heart, so here it goes, Even if he has taken them, they won't complain for that. They also naturally give him their heart. That's what they want to do. And they don't give him only their heart, they give him their life. They give him all the potential happiness they could have in the future. They give him everything. They're giving themselves, their soul to Krishna, everything. And then Krishna disappears. Then you can understand it was a tragedy, because they didn't have their life back, they didn't have anything back. They were just left alone. And one thing with Krishna is that because he's Krishna, when he leaves, you never know if he will come back, because he's not obliged. In this world, someone leaves, not in all cases, but in most of the cases, they'll come back sometime. But when Krishna leaves, you never know if he will come back, because Krishna is Swarat. First verse of Srimad Bhagavatam says, Krishna is Swarat. He's completely independent. He's not obliged to do anything, because he has no, technically on the Tattva level, obligation toward anyone. So they really become confused, deeply confused. Is that They don't have their life, they don't have their heart, and he disappeared with all of that. Now what are they going to become? What are they going? So they could just melt into tears. They melted into tears, and they became completely how to say, they became completely engulfed in that overwhelming feeling of what was happening. So that's the price to pay to obtain such a love. It won't come without all these experiences. These are the experiences of pure love of Krishna. Pure love of Krishna is poison and nectar mixed together, so the price to pay to obtain it is the price of poison. Isn't it? It's the price that you have to drink poison also. Okay, it will be mixed with nectar, so it won't kill you, but still the pain will be there. You will feel like if you are dying, you will feel such a separation at every moment of your existence for eternity that you feel like you're dying. That's the price to pay. Who wants to pay this price? Those who are very intelligent. Because they understand if this is the price that Radharani is paying every second, if this is the price that Lalita and Vishaka are paying every second, then I'm willing to pay that price also. Otherwise, how can I say I am their eternal servant? I want to serve them. How come you want to serve someone without accepting the suffering of that person? This is, you want to exploit that person. But service means first you take the suffering of the person. And that also you share. The bliss that goes with it together. But at the same time you have to accept that feeling of separation. They're living it. Adiruddha Mahabhav, it's not an easy feeling to live. Who wants to feel that every moment is like a millennium? Yuga Tam Nimishena. That's the price to pay for obtaining prema. It's interesting to see it in that perspective. Who is ready to pay the price that every moment will feel like an entire yuga? That person who is ready to pay this price will get prema. Because that's what prema it is. If someone says, well, I'm not sure I want to pay this price, so better you don't get prema. Because if you get prema, you have to pay this price. It goes together. It's like when your father dies, so the notary will contact you and say, okay, your father died, he had such and such property, wealth, but with it comes also such and such and such debts. You can't only take the wealth and not take the debts. You can refuse. I don't take the wealth, I don't take the debts, and you can accept. I take the wealth and I take the debt also. Or because he's kind, he will tell you the balance and it's up to you to decide. So in some cases it's quite easy. Your father was rich, he didn't have any debt, you'll take it. In some cases it's also easy because he was poor, he was so much in debt, you don't take it. Why would you take it, But in some cases, it's tricky. He had some things, but some debt goes together. Will they balance? What will be really the benefit? You can't know. At the same time, it could be a great benefit. At the same time, it could be also a loss, because there are some things that are uncertain, and you have to choose. So it's like this. Prema is that you take prema, you take the pain that goes with it also. Which is, by the way, the greatest bliss, but still, that's the feeling you will have to then carry in your heart for eternity. Because Sanatan Goswami writes in Brihad Bhagavatamrita which is actually Krishna speaking to Narada Muni, that the gopis of Raj, there is not 1 second they don't experience separation from him, even when they are with him. That's the price of what we call Atiruddha Mahabhav, Buddhanaksha Atiruddha Mahabhav. They experience separation from Krishna always. And because of that, then they experience the highest level of love for Krishna. Because in the spiritual world, separation is not separated from union. If I can make myself understood in this way. When you experience separation, then you experience also the presence of Krishna. Because as my friend Akshayananda in Paris said one day, very interesting, he said, the absence of Krishna also contains his presence. And I was thinking, wow, this is an amazing, beautiful way to say it. The absence of Krishna also contains his presence. And the presence of Krishna also contains his absence. So you can't take the one without the other. When you take the presence of Krishna, you also take the absence of Krishna. The two experiences, they go together. So this is the price to pay. Who wants to pay this price? All glory to that fortunate soul. He has understood. And this is the taste of Krishna. He's making it appear like something tragic. Yugaitam nimeshino. Chakshusha pravisayitam. When will torrents of tears flow constantly from my eyes like rain from the clouds? Who wants to cry forever? That's what it is, to attain the service of Radha and Krishna. And not only them, don't think that the Gopa, they don't cry, or Mother Yashoda, they don't cry. They do cry also. We could say just a little less, maybe, but not that much less. When you hear how the Gopa, they suffer separation from Krishna, from this beautiful book, Preyo Bhakti Rasarnava, it describes the feeling of separation of the Gopas. Then you understand, oh, the Gopa, they are more than what I was thinking. And when we hear also the feeling of separation of Mother Yashoda when Krishna left, or even when Krishna goes to the forest every day, it's not a small thing. Vipralamba is the omnipresent reality of pure love. You can't take one without the other. This is the nature of prema. So who wants prema has to accept, okay, I'll pay that price, and that price is your life, your heart, everything you have, your soul. And you on top of that, you have to also embrace separation. Poison. And with that, then you will be submerged in the highest bliss. Some people, they adopt for about it, you know. They think, what is this kind of trick? It looks like a bad deal, huh? But it's the best deal that exists. But this is Krishna Lila. Krishna makes it like this. Lord Chaitanya has accepted the role of Radhani. Even Krishna himself paid this price. He wants to experience the heart of Radha. So okay, but then that means Krishna has to pay the price of going through Radha, through being Radha. Like this beautiful song of Chandidas. Radhani says, "Oh Krishna, I have one desire. I want to die. And then in my next life, I will take birth as the son of Nanda Maharaj. And I will make you take birth as the daughter of Rishabhanu. And that time I will be Krishna, you will be Radha. And I will play the flute. And you will burn in love for me. Then you will understand what it is, how I am burning in that love for you. That's the deal, you know. That's the deal between Radha and Krishna. So in order to understand Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrisham Vanayeva, what is that unique love that Radharani is feeling Krishna has to accept the role of Radharani? And we should support that position as Swarup Damodar did in the Gambhira. We have to help him because Krishna didn't know what it will be. That price, Krishna said, okay, I'm ready to pay that price. I am ready to embrace all the suffering you are experiencing in your life due to your love. I'll take that. But then it became more than what he was thinking, because that's the nature of Radharani's love. It increases at every moment. So Krishna became lost in that experience that he wanted to do. I mean, there was no other way than to become lost in it, but he became lost in it. He lost the control. It's like you want to do an experience and then the experience goes out of control. There was one movie when I was young, I remember, that was called The Forbidden Experience. They wanted to try to die. Some doctors in medical school, they had this crazy idea, let us kill ourselves, because they saw sometimes you can bring people back to life. And they wanted to experience what is this, what they see. So they decided to kill themselves with, anesthesia, inject something that, and when the brain becomes stopped and the heart goes flat, they're waiting, they count up to, a few seconds, and then they do these electroshocks and this bring the other back to life. But what happened? They did once or twice and then it didn't work. The third time, the person couldn't come back. I mean, they became, what was I saying? They lost control of the experience. That was an intense experience. They wanted to play with their life to see, but we liked it when we were youngsters at that time, teenagers. I would say maybe older teenagers. We liked it. The idea was very challenging. Such an experience, you're putting your life on the carpet, trying to see what is there behind life. It was very interesting for us, especially these were the years when we were starting with some of my friends to become conscious, really, that there is something else than what we're learning in this world. We became to understand the soul and consciousness, and there is something behind this world of experience. And maybe do we die after the body is dead? And so we were thinking, very interesting experience. We didn't try to do it because you have to put your life on the table. But that's what Krishna did, and then he lost control of the experience. So he needs support. That's where our chance is. So beautiful, Prabhupada, what he's saying. And we should support that position. Krishna is suffering the experience of Radha's love, as Swarup Damodar did in the Gambhira, the room where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed in Puri. He supported Krishna to go through that very intense experience of Radharani's love. He was there day and night to protect Krishna, to be there, to accompany him. He always reminded Lord Chaitanya of Radha's feelings of separation, as they are described in Srimad Bhagavatam. And Lord Chaitanya appreciated his assistance. sometimes following Mahaprabhu in nourishing his feeling of separation. But then when it would become too intense, he has to bring back Mahaprabhu also to life, to protect his life. He should not die in the experience. Even though Krishna cannot die, Yogamaya makes that they think they can die at any moment, and they experience that they feel that they're going to die. How many times Radharani says to Krishna that she's going to die? How many songs we have where Radharani says she wants to die, like this song of Chandidas, so beautiful. These are the songs that Mahaprabhu would listen. And so Damodar and Ramandaroy, they would help him to experience the separation of Radha up to what it is. And then they would have to bring him back to the consciousness. So they would then reassure him, like Lalita and Vishaka, they're pacifying Radha and saying, okay, that will be okay, you will not die, we're here. Krishna will come back and then pacify. So that's the way of doing. So Prabhupada called this the doctrine of transcendental feelings of separation from Krishna in the role of Radharani. This is a doctrine. This is what Mahaprabhu came to live and give. Okay? We'll stop here. Very beautiful reality of the experience of Gauranga. Sheshaya Rahilo Prabhu, Dvadasa Vatsara, Krishnera Vyoga Sfurti Oye Nirantara. During 12 years, at the end of his life, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu experienced separation from Krishna. Krishna Vyoga Sfurti Oye Nirantara. Constantly, Nirantara means constantly the separation from Krishna would manifest in his heart. He couldn't spend any moment without feeling separation from Krishna. Sheshaya Rahilo Prabhu Dvadasa Vachara. Krishnera Vyoga Sfurti Oy Nirantara. And he would lose control of everything. Nirantara Hoya Prabhu Viraha Unmada, and become like crazy by this Viraha separation. Viraha Nirantara Hoya Prabhu Viraha Unmada. Brahma Maya Chesto Sada Pralapa Maya Vada. All these activities, they were like full of oblivion. He didn't know what he was doing. Brahma Maya. Brahma means illusion. He could not understand what is true, what is not true anymore. Pralapa Mayavada. And his speech was full of delirium. He would just say, like someone becoming, how we can say, dementia, something, but this is Divya Unmala. So this is not dementia, this is the dementia of the topmost love. Kshane onga kshina hoy, kshane onga fuli. Sometimes his body would become very skinny. And sometimes his body would become very, how to say, what is the very big, like this, different symptom of ecstasy. Gambira bitari ratri nahi nidra lava. He could not sleep for one moment. Lava means very short time. Lava matra. Just an instant. Nahi nidra lava. He could not sleep for even a fraction of an instant. Kambira bitare ratri nahi nidra lava, bita shiramuka gasi. He would rub his face on the walls, searching how to come out. I have to meet for Krishna. Completely absorbed in that separation. But that separation means inside his heart he was experiencing that unlimited love of Radha, which is unlimited ecstasy in separation, but ecstasy in separation. So this is, now we're coming to the heart of the topic, what Krishna is coming to experience. Jai. Thank you. We are very grateful to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami for having penned these wonderful verses, revealing to us the nature of Radhani's love, Krishna's love, and Mahaprabhu's love. May this reality find its way from his words to our heart and reside there forever and become a reality. No questions?
Yes, questions. So you were saying that Krishna, when he said yes, he was ready to pay the price, but he didn't know fully what he was getting himself into.
Yeah.
Right? And then he was overwhelmed by the experience. Right? So I was thinking that Gaura Govinda Maharaj mentions that Mahaprabhu came as Bhakta Rupa, and that Krishna, he would say Krishna is a theoretical teacher, theoretical speaker, and Mahaprabhu is a practical teacher. So when I was thinking, one could also say, yes, I'm ready. I want that thing, and I'm ready to pay the price, you know. But at the same time, they may be overwhelmed.
These are only words.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they may be overwhelmed. What is the end of your sentence?
They may be overwhelmed when they come to what the thing is that they're actually saying yes to.
Yeah. It's easy to say, Morai abilas bilas kunje diovas. When you don't know what it is, you sing it. Okay? It's good. But you don't know what it is. Yeah? We can say it only by words. That's why we have to understand what is this prem. Then when we say it, we mean it because we understand what it is. So the study of prem is very important. That's why Rupa wrote Ujjvala Nilamani, which is the study of prema. All details of prem, up to the topmost level of prem. He's giving some descriptions of what is this reality of Radha and his prema and her closest friend. Yeah, we need to know, because when we know our words, they will have meaning, they will have depth. Like, if a kid says, I want to become an astronaut, that's okay, it's good, but he doesn't know how much training he will have to go through. It's one of the most difficult things to become an astronaut. But one who knows fully what it is, and then he still wants to become an astronaut, then now they will present him, okay, you want to be an astronaut? Okay, that's possible. Here is what you will have to go through. Are you ready? Maybe he'll say, oh, I didn't know that. But that's the price. But when we know, And then when we know then we can mean it. And our aspiration will become deeper and heavier because we understand exactly what we are dealing with. We understand exactly what we are working for, what we are heading for. We understand exactly, or not, at least we have an idea of what we are inviting in our life, what we are calling for. Then our call becomes more tangible. And then it becomes a real calling. Because when you call something but you don't mean it, it's not a real calling. You may be calling something else, misunderstanding actually what you are exactly calling. But when you understand all this beautiful philosophy, not just by intellect, but by the heart, then your chanting becomes endowed with all that tragedy. That's what it means. Then you realize, whoa, I'll have to chant in another way. Jai. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanand.